there, it's Teresa here with today's Money Shift Monday message. If you regularly feel frustrated when it comes to money, if for reasons you have yet to understand, money always seems to be so hard for you, if it's your sore spot, if no matter what you do or how much money you make, you're still not experiencing the ease, the joy, the freedom that you long for and have expected, I'm so glad you're here watching this episode today, because this one has your name on it. This Money Shift Money episode is going to look at things, as they all do, I hope, a little differently. Specifically, your relationship with this money and this idea that more money is going to solve all that frustration and hard and all of that. So I think this episode and what I'm going to be talking about today is appropriately timed, given that later this afternoon we celebrate the arrival of spring. Yay! Yes? At least here up in Wisconsin, we celebrate the arrival of spring. And when spring arrives, I start thinking of all sorts of things that I'm going to be able to do now that it's spring that I don't do when it's winter time. One such thing is riding my bike. So let's say that today, this first day of the spring, is the day I decide I'm going to go out to our barn and I'm going to get my bike out and go for my first ride. I don't think I will. It will be a little chilly, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Now, when I do, there's a really good chance that my tires are going to be a little low because they've been sitting in the barn all winter. So I'll get out our hand pump and I'll get out the tire gauge to measure it. And I'll check the sidewall of my tire for the idea PSI, pound per square inch, so I know how much air to pump in. I don't remember right now. I think it's 110 PSI. I don't know. And then I'll attach the hose and I'll start pumping. And I'll pump and air in my tire. And when it gets to whatever the right amount is, I'll take it off. I'll put my helmet on, safety, and I'll take off on my first bike ride for the year. Oh, I look forward to this day. And then let's just say a quarter mile down the road, I'm finding myself, I'm really winded already. And it's like, gosh, I'm getting tired already. Now, it could be that I'm out of shape until I look down at the front tire and I see, gosh, it looks like it's flat again. So there's the scenario. So now let's imagine, you and me, that here's what I do next. I get off my bike and I walk it back to our house, back to the barn, thinking, maybe I didn't pump enough air in it. Maybe that gauge isn't quite accurate. Maybe I read the sidewall wrong. Maybe it was only 100, maybe it was 120 PSI. I don't know. And so I'm going to do it all over again. I'm going to attach the pump, the little hose. I'm going to get the gauge out. I'm going to pump and I'm going to pump and I'm going to pump. And this time I know I've done it right. That may be a reasonable response. So I get on my bike, eager to go for my ride. And the same thing happens. A quarter of a mile down the road, I'm struggling again. I'm huffing and I'm puffing and my legs are straining. And when I look down at the front tire, it's flat already. Now imagine, given this scenario, I walk my bike back to our barn again, this time thinking, I still must not have pumped an air in. Maybe I didn't pump hard enough. Maybe I didn't pump fast enough. So I go back, go through the same routine, and this time I pump harder, and I pump faster, and I pump harder, and I pump faster. And then when it says on the gauge that it's right, I go, well, I'm going to pump a little extra in. That's what I do. And then I get on my bike ride, sure that this time I'm going to get to sail off, like really go for a nice bike ride. And the same thing happens. And so I walk my bike back again and I think, I guess I have to pump harder and faster and I have to pump more air in. And so I do that again and again and again and again. And I repeat this again and again and again. And always about a quarter mile away, I'm huffing and puffing and I look down and my tire is flat. This happens so many times that I might finally decide, forget it. Forget it. I don't even want to go for a bike ride. I might even, if this happens enough times, convince myself I don't even like riding bikes. I might get rid of my bike. And you're probably this entire time wishing you could jump through your computer screen or phone right now and say, Teresa, I know what the problem is. I know what you need to do. You know, as do I, that there must be a leak or a hole in the tire someplace. And I need to find that leak and patch it first. Until I do, it won't matter how much air I pump in and how fast I pump and how hard I pump. It won't matter. The same thing will keep happening. And you know what, my friends? The same thing is true when it comes to money. So often when we're struggling with money, when it's hard to get where we want to go and stuff like that, we think that we just have to make more money. We need to pump more money in, preferably faster. And oftentimes that means we think we have to work harder and harder and faster and longer and longer. Can you relate to this at all? If so, type in the chat. I can relate to this. You're watching my life flash in front of your eyes. Just so you know, maybe you can relate to this. But what we don't realize when we're doing all of that struggle, by the way, is that we've got money leaks that we haven't discovered, that we haven't found, that we haven't addressed, let alone patched or fixed. Those money leaks could be in terms of the way we spend and use our money and the things we spend it on. Whoop! Have you ever had that experience? You take some money out at the ATM, $50, and the next day you're going, where did it all go? We have impulsive spending that can be leaking money. We have unconscious spending that can be leaking money. We can be leaking money on things that we think we're supposed to spend money on, but don't really work. They're just another leak. But some of those money leaks can also be beliefs that you have about money and yourself. Like for the people that I work with, it's kind of like, oh, something's wrong with me. I'm not important. I don't deserve it. I haven't earned it. I'm not good enough for it. What I need and want isn't important. I don't really need so much. We have beliefs about ourselves that can create leaks too. Whichever the kind of leaks that are going on for you in your relationship with money, and in truth, it's probably both. You can keep trying to make more money, trying this new thing and this new thing and this new thing and pumping harder and faster and longer, but you're never going to experience the ease and the freedom and the joy that you expected and that you want. Because let's face it, if you've ever tried to ride a bike that does have a flat tire, it is hard work. It is not fun. And the truth is if you keep trying to ride your bike on that flat tire, you're going to wind up creating even more damage to the bike. You could bend the rim, you could break some spokes, you could come off the track and out of alignment, which is exactly what we do to ourselves when we keep trying to go through life with a flat money tire. And when we think the solution to that flat money tire is just pump more air in, pump more air in. We do damage to ourselves. Ever feel overwhelmed? Ever feel burnt out? Ever felt exhausted? Ever felt like, oh my God, panicky adrenaline stress? That's harming us. And it doesn't really help the money tire to become fully inflated. It doesn't help your relationship with money. Are you with me? If you're with me and you're here live or even in the replay, just type into the chat that, yep, I get it. I'm making the connections. I see the parallels. Been there, done that. Been there, don't want to be there. Just give me a sense of if you're following me. And then I'm going to use this bike tire analogy just a little in a different way. Because having leaks or holes in the tire is not the only thing that can cause a flat tire. And this too is going to go back to beliefs that you might have about money and yourself. If you have a belief, albeit a subconscious one you're not aware of, that you're not worthy, that you're not important, that you don't matter, that you don't deserve more, that you don't need more even, then those beliefs are going to lead to a flat tire for you in a different way. Let's say that my bike does need 110 psi. That's how much air I need to pump it into. But if I go out there this afternoon and I only pump it up to 80 psi, what's going to happen? I'm going to go biking down the road, huffing and puffing and struggling and exhausted. I'm not going to have a lot of fun. I'm not going to experience ease. I'm not going to enjoy the bike ride. I'm not going to be able to go where I want to go. So sometimes it's not a leak, it's actually a block. That we have this ability, we need to fill ourselves, fill our bank accounts, fill whatever, to a certain capacity. And that's the amount that will create ease, but we can have beliefs that cause blocks and we won't let ourselves fill our tire all the way. So again, if you can relate to this, if you think, maybe I do that too, feel free to put that in the chat. But here's the flip side of that. And this is the other thing that we don't realize when the operating system running behind the scenes of our lives and our relationship with money is the archetype of scarcity that I talk about all the time. In that archetype, we think that somehow pumping more or extra, having plenty, more than enough of air or money is going to make things better, is going to make things easier, is going to lead to more joy and all of that. But it's not true. Let's go back to my bike tire again. If I fill my bike above 110 psi, like let's say I go to 125, extra, more, plenty, more than enough, I'm going to have a blowout. Either while I'm still pumping the tire or when I start biking down the road. And a blowout is a lot bigger than a money leak. It's not something that you can patch. And not only is it probably going to destroy the tire, I could quite easily fall and get hurt. So to go on a bike ride and to be able to enjoy it, to go where I want to go, and to do it with some amount of ease, I need the right amount of air in my tires. Not too little, not too much. And I need to make sure my money tire is solid, no leaks, no holes. And the same is true when it comes to this journey we call life, my friends. So if you're not enjoying the journey, if you're not yet able to go where you long to go, if money and the kind of like living is really hard, don't immediately jump to the solution that you just need to make more. Work harder, faster, or longer. Remember this story. Spend some time, spend some energy, hire a coach. I'll nominate myself to help you find where your money leaks are. And then work with them, patch them, fill them. Make your money tire solid and stable. Because here's the thing. When you do that, and your tire is able to hold the air you pump in at just the right amount that tire needs, I promise you, you will experience a true sense of abundance. Not to mention a heck of a lot more ease and freedom and joy. So, speaking of these leaks, especially the subconscious ones that you're not even aware of, This is a huge part of what my upcoming Breakthrough to Abundance Invitational event is designed to support you to do, to discover the leaks and learn some simple steps for starting to patch the leak. So then if you do pump in more air, you'll be able to hold it and experience the abundance you long for. Since it's possible for you to participate in this event for free, I hope you will check it out right now and reserve your spot. I've included the link to that, all that information in the content here with today's video. And I thank you for being here. I would love to hear in comments, like, what about this way of looking at money like really resonated with you? If you're like the people that I work with, you watched your life flash in front of your eyes, at least to some degree. I'd love to hear what that was. I will promise to respond to all comments. And again, I invite you to join me to dive deeper into this type of stuff in the Breakthrough to Abundance Invitational. And of course, I'll be back next Monday with another money shift. I'll see you then.